when the night falls, when the shadows become dark and black, the silent pall of evil settles upon the earth. Who dares to search? Who dares to see what walks in the night? If you dare, welcome to the Gratu Orloff Show. Today is, I don't know, possibly August 9th, 2022, something like that. It's a Monday. Today we're going to be looking at a wonderful comic book company called Harvey. So those of you that grew up in the 50s, 60s, 70s remember Harvey, and maybe you learned to reading those fantastic comics. Children's comics about devils, witches, and ghosts. But they're all cute with baby heads, and also billionaire children. Billionaires, witches, demons, and spirits. Well, let's go look at them. We've got a box of Harvey comics over here in the Tiki Bar. Let's go take a look. All right. So, haven't been broadcasting in a few days. Been a little under the weather. How have you guys been doing? God damn it. Bastard. Just a moment. All right, so we're back. Good. Okay. Having said that, being said, we're going to move forward because it is what it is, and we're going to build back better. And we're not going to allow mistakes to be an existential threat to our democracy. So let's have a conversation about Harvey Comics and go forward and move forward. Having said that being said, it's the Gratu Orloff Show, ladies and gentlemen. It's Gratu Orloff. I wrote some of these annoying things on this so that I can remember. I have like an existential threat to our democracy. Having said that being said, although my wife pointed out that these are things that conservatives tend to say, having said, I think they're said in the business world by idiots. Conversation, I first heard Hillary Clinton using that, now everybody uses it. We were watching that horrible show on CBS called Big Brother, and all through the show, it's like you could count how many times the idiots in the House say, moving forward, which is the communist slogan. Yes. Forward. Or as the Firesign Theater said, forward into the past. Yes, the past of Harvey Comics. All right, so having said that, let's look at these fantastic comic books. All right. Once again, we're coming to you live in color from the Spook House Tiki Lounge here in Mount Gratu, Iowa. So look at this. Some of those Archie comics I was showing you the other day, people have told me, that Josie and the Pussycats comic you showed is going for $170 on eBay because Melody has a bikini on in the cover. Incredible. Astounding. Well, here's Astro Comics. Your favorite comic book characters on American Airlines. So, American Airlines gave away free comic books to their to the amazing children that flew on those airlines. See, there's Casper, who's a dead child, and there's Richie Rich. And a lot of people think Richie Rich is and Casper are the same, that Richie Rich was killed or something and he became this ghost. And little Audrey. I don't have a world-class collection of Harvey. I bought what I could as a child, and I bought whenever I found them over the years. I buy Harvey comics, but you know, most comic stores don't have Harvey comics. It's just the way it is. And that's the way it is. August 9th, 2022. Here's Baby Huey, the baby giant, number 75. Maybe that light is annoying. Let's point that another direction. I'm trying to build back better here on the Garage to Our Left network, but I don't know if these lights on the comic are a distraction or not. Alright, so, yes, this is a fantastic comic. Baby Huey, the baby giant. See, Penny he had to pick up the building to get his penny. Fantastic. Amazing. Here's Baby Huey, the baby giant, number 76. Now, I also bought this at Duncanville Books, which is, that's how they price their comics, with these colored stickers. Now, seeing as how they had issues 75 and 76, you could be pretty certain that these were both originally owned from the same person. That's where they had to be. So, having said that, let's look at Baby Huey number 90. The baby giant. Look at that. Wow. He's pretty strong, you know, Baby Huey. I like the little TV sets that had the other characters that appear in the comic. You've got Dizzy, you got Herman and Catnip, you got Mama Duck, Papa Duck, and of course Baby Huey. You know, it's 25 cents because it's an ultra thick comic. Here's Baby Huey and Papa. I love this beautiful red cover. Oh man. Number 26. You can never have enough Baby Huey comics. It's a rocket ship cover. You've got a black background with stars. Fantastic. How do you like this Jethro Tull music we're playing this morning, ladies and gentlemen? I hope it's not a microaggression for you to hear Jethro Tull. But it is what it is, because we're going to build back better here in the Gratu Orloff mansion as we move into the new liberal order. Well, what do we have here? Oh, it's a little bit different for Harvey. They're trying to create a superhero. This comic is not called Jigsaw, it's called Big Hero Adventures, starring Jigsaw, the man of 1,000 parts. Don't shoot, Sam. That thing's trying to help us. He's corralling the animals. But it's not human. It might look on us. It might turn on us next. Just look at it. It's a Jigsaw man. Don't laugh at the Jigsaw man. His mechanical parts make him the greatest crime fighter on Earth. And the weirdest, silliest looking one. And it's got a great gorilla cover. That's fantastic. Now, he's recapturing the gorilla from the circus train that has been derailed. So, again, the ever-pervasive influence of the Adam West 1966 Batman television program caused every comic company, even one that specialized in cute little supernatural characters, to venture out and try to make some money off of superheroes. Every company tried to do it. Yeah, here's another example of that. This is Blast Off, presenting the Fantastic New Worlds with the Three Rocketeers. Now, this cover is great, and it's surreal, and it belongs in every comic collection. A million miles up, it lives, the death-dealing Rock of Rages. Rock of Rages. Next time you're in church and they're singing Rock of Ages, change it to Rock of Rages. Everyone around you in the church pews will love you for it. C. Life in the Weirdest Form, a story that challenges your imagination and tests your sanity. That's just fucking incredible. Look at that. How about that one? Okay. Pre-code horror. Unfortunately, there's no cover on Black Cat Mystery number 41, and the first page has a fold, a crease, which you can see the wonderful stories that lie within. I got this from a Wounded Wonder pack. Lone Star Comics, which you know is mycomicshop.com, used to, in their stores, in their brick and mortar stores, and Lone Star Comics used to be my local comic shop that I would walk to. Miles and miles, but I would walk to it as a kid. Comics they couldn't sell because they had obvious flaws like no cover or whatever. They would bundle up in packs, thick, much thick, about this much many comics, and they'd shrink wrap it, and it would say Wounded Wonders, and it'd say mostly Silver Age, some Golden Age, maybe a few Bronze Age. It was mostly older stuff, and usually they were good reading copies. Very rarely, usually they were at least good reading copies. They might be coverless or have something cut out of the covers, something like that. Sometimes there were like loose cut, just the front cover of EC horror comics mixed in, or you never could tell. And I think he's bought a big pile for $9 or $10. So that's how I wound up with these coverless comics. What are you gonna do about it? Okay, the 1990s. I continued to go into comic stores. Now let me point out something. I grew disenchanted with, some people talk about this modern age of comic books and how the comics are all woke and politically correct and they're shitty, or they'll have really great covers and what's inside is crappy. That's all true. But I stopped buying modern comics long before that. Looking at my collection as I go through it, it looks like I really took a decline. There was really a decline in my comic book buying in the mid-'80s. No, actually I didn't stop buying comics. I stopped buying new comics. But if a comic came out like this, which is from Harvey, a wing called Recollections, where they reprint 50s Harvey stuff, like this Black Cat character, I would buy that. I would buy comics like Hate and 8-Ball. I would buy old collector's comics. I'd keep going in the comic stores once a week, but I was not buying I just wasn't buying the shit, the new stuff. I really had just no interest in it. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. And I tried to figure out why this happened, and I've kind of determined what happened. They started to. It wasn't that I grew up and outgrew comics. Comics started to become something else. Um, and hold on, I'll turn this fan off. Um, I look at comics as a children's medium. Now, I really enjoyed Watchmen, but looking back on it now, I think why I enjoyed it. I love Watchmen, but it's like, why did that comic exist? What was the purpose of that existing? And I mean, what were they really trying to say to us? Was it a warning? Uh, it just seemed like there was this perversion of this childhood medium. You know, and you said, well, comics were just becoming more adult, like those comics in Europe. Okay, and then there was uh, the Killing Joke, Batman: The Killing Joke, and I love the artwork in that, and I convinced myself that I really loved the comic, but I look back on it now and just how sadistic it was, and the treatment of Batgirl getting shot in the stomach and having her spine shattered, as I recall. And they said, well, it wasn't. And then for a few decades, she's in a wheelchair. What are you doing, man? It was just a lot of, and then all the stories I enjoyed as a kid were made invalid by Crisis on Infinite Earths. Just like, and then the '90s happened, and I had no interest, none, in Carnage and Venom and Spawn, all these demonic goblin characters. I don't know if I was in third grade instead of being in my 20s, would I have thought those were cool? I kind of don't think so. I don't know. I was just reading it just the right time. John Romita was still doing Spider-Man, when I discovered it. And there were Marvel Tales on the stand that let me see the Steve Ditko stories. And I was able to still see the Jack Kirby Fantastic Four comics through Marvel's Greatest Comics. And Fantastic Four was still really good there in the early 70s. Not as good as the Jack Kirby era, but... another thing that happened was this... in fact, a few years later in the 90s, I sold this. It was a big deal, man. Lone Star Comics opened on Thanksgiving Day, Thanksgiving morning, to sell a Batman graphic novel called Arkham Asylum, and it was this big deal. So I went there on Thanksgiving before we ate the dinner, and got this comic. And in this comic, the Joker has on a wedding gown because what they're pointing out is psychologically that the Joker is in love with Batman and wants to marry Batman. That's why he's... And I don't know about that. That shit I had no interest in. So I spent my money on old comics as best I could. I didn't have that much money. And I would go to the comic stores because there was a lot of independent stuff coming out in the 90s. And I would get shit like this because I had no interest in what was coming out. Instead of this, I probably could have bought some super valuable New Mutants, or Todd McFarlane thing, but I like this. And that's probably why my channel doesn't grow much, because people want to hear about all the wonderful shit that happened in the 80s and 90s, and I don't think it was that wonderful. The Killing Joke, looking back on it, was wonderful art, and I didn't like what it did to Commissioner Gordon either. You know, having him naked on a roller coaster, it just twisted shit. You know, from these warlocks, all these fucking bearded warlocks from Britain showed up and started writing comics and doing their little satanic, because they were a bunch of fucking Satan worshippers, and they thought we'll just do a dark take on these children's comics. But no, I mean Watchmen is great, but I mean, I guess it was commentary on the Reagan era, because they all hated Reagan, you know, I guess. You know, I don't know. Ironically, you know, they tried to make Rorschach a bad guy, and that's when they made the movie, that's the character everyone loved the most. I don't know. Here's another black cat. I piss people off. I don't like modern comics. There's a few that, I mean, there was good stuff. There was The Rocketeer came out around that time. I like that. If good stuff comes out, I'm all there, man. I'm a ready Teddy. I'm right there with Dave Stevens, with Mike Allred, with Darwin Cook. Alex Ross is great. You know, The Kingdom Come, I love that, because Kingdom Come didn't deconstruct the superheroes and make them. It didn't show the superheroes fucking. It didn't show them killing people, being sadistic. It was just an alternate universe story that I thought was great. I love that Alex Ross art. Now Alex Ross, he's pretty prolific. He turns out covers, and for comics that are shitty inside and people buy them, a worthless comic that has his artwork on the outside. It's just a turd in a pretty colored box. But look, they were even selling Black Cat shirts. This shit I love. But anyway, comics stopped being for kids, and anyway, kids were not buying comics anymore. They were getting video games, and then now the comic industry only exists as they barely even exist. There's another copy of Black Cat. There was a Batgirl movie. They spent $90 million making a Batgirl movie. A new guy takes over at Warner Brothers and says, what the fuck are we doing? We're destroying these characters, making shitty movies. He shit-canned the Batgirl movie, so it's not going to be released in any format. And he shit-canned some other things, too. I think that Hollywood is waking up, that there's movies coming out that are, I mean, like that Tom Cruise Top Gun movie made all this money because it didn't pander, and people loved it. It made like $1 billion, and a bunch of other. And I think maybe The Bridge Too Far was this Lord of the Rings travesty that's on some network now. So that pissed so many people off, and I think it's Amazon, and they're so scared by it that I think everybody's starting to realize we better start fixing what we're. I don't think Marvel's going to. Disney's not going. Disney seems like they're not going. They're just doubling down. They're going to keep doing all the shitty things they're doing to Star Wars, to Marvel Comics movies, and whatever else they're doing. Yeah, so it's reprints of the original stories in black and white. It looks like they had access to the original art to print these. Here's a really good cover. And then, in memoriam, Alfred Harvey passed away on July 4th, 1994. He was born October 6th, 1913. So this is the man behind the company. But see, this is just all all about the. This has got a lot of information in here about the people that created Harvey Comics. Whole feature on the life story of Alfred Harvey. Um, yeah, it's. So I was buying up this kind of stuff. I just lost interest in Marvel and DC, and occasionally I'd buy some of their comics to see. It seems like there was some times when there were glimmers of hope that came back in, and here's Beam Double Dare Adventures. Person's a big double feature starring Beam now. Extra full-length Circus of Thrills, Magic Master. I don't remember if that's the character that Jim Steranko created. It could be. Who gives a shit? Alright. I wish I had more of these. This is a tremendous comic that Harvey produced. The Queen of the In Crowd. She's hip, she's mod, she's boss. This dance is AC/DC EZ. What a groovy psychodelicious. What a groovy psychodelicious group. Psychodelicious. Yeah, I mean, just this cover is just one of the greatest comic books, and I mean, one of the greatest covers in the history of comic books, without a doubt. Bunny number 4. You know, would I rather own this or a comic where Batgirl is shot and paralyzed? I would rather own this. Of course, I own The Killing Joke. Oh, and then there was recently some big Batman little mini-series called Batman 3 Jokers. And I bought that. I fell in for the hype. Even though I flipped through it and saw a big crowd of naked men, and Bruce Wayne, I believe it was Bruce Wayne, was tied naked to a chair. I'm thinking, who the fuck is making this? And I still bought it. Can you believe that? I fell for the hype. But I'm not knocking Watchmen. It was great. I just think it started a dangerous precedent. And things just stopped being fun. And there's no fun in that's the whole point. Is I like things that are fun. I like comic books that are fun. I like music that's fun. I like fun. And if something's not fun, the hell with it. Bunny number 14. Look at that. Now here on the back, I have that piece of fine art. Did I put it upstairs? I don't remember. I'm putting all this Big Eye stuff in a room upstairs, and I don't remember if I hung this picture up there. I'm going to go up there here in a second and see before I forget. This Fruit Man character is quite interesting. I haven't said one of the annoying catchphrases lately. It is what it is, man. You know, those satanic British guys fucked up the industry. They were an existential threat to our comic books. Give me the Silver Age over any of that 80s stuff any day. Oh, and then The Dark Knight. Um, that was fun. That was an alternate future. It wasn't necessarily canon. It was a very anti-Ronald Reagan comic. I remember that because they always have to have their fucking political agenda in there. But The Dark Knight, I enjoyed that. But then later, there were sequels to The Dark Knight that were so terrible, it kind of ruins the legacy of the Dark Knight comic because he did this new Dark Knight. Yeah, that was bad. Um, I think that, yeah, that was bad. In fact, there were two sequels to The Dark Knight, as I recall. But still, um, I prefer the classic Batman. I don't like the ultra sadistic shit. And now that's what people think Batman always was the sadistic guy. And then these people like this idiot that made, what's his name, Zack Snyder. He has these movies where Batman's shooting, he has machine guns mounted. Actually, Tim Burton did it too. He had there were machine guns mounted on the Batmobile. It's like that's completely antithetical to the whole concept of Batman, that he's doesn't kill people. But that's so yeah. The Dark Knight. It's kind of like, well, I guess since it was the original creator of the Dark Knight, Frank Miller, fucking up his legacy. I guess I'd equate it to George Lucas doing those prequels that were completely unnecessary, and I still won't let it hurt my image of the original Star Wars movies. No matter how many bad Disney movies, Star Wars Disney movies come out, no matter how many bad TV shows, there's nothing that can take away from me the magical moments in the real Star Wars movie. The scene where Luke Skywalker is looking up at the twin suns and the music swelling. The scene where Luke and Leia swing across the chasm in the Death Star. The music, I mean, it was all so wonderful. Right out of a comic strip, Alex Raymond, or a comic book. And the wonderful scene at the end in the throne room where they march out and the music swells. And yes, it was right out of Leni Riefenstahl. It was based almost shot for shot from Leni Riefenstahl. But that doesn't change the fact that it's wonderful. That throne room scene at the end of Star Wars, because that's what it's really called. You young whippersnappers call it A New Hope. It wasn't called A New Hope back when it came out. It was called Star Wars. That they changed that when after The Empire Strikes Back came out. It said Episode 5, and everyone went, huh? And then they re-released the first Star Wars movie, and suddenly it said Episode 4 now. And I said, oh, okay, we're in the middle of a movie serial. But anyway, having said that, that being said, they'll never take that shit away from me. I don't care what they do. Those movies were great. The cantina scene, Empire Strikes Back was great. Return of the Jedi was kind of great, kind of good. It wasn't, but Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back were fantastic, and they still remain that way. You're not gonna, and nothing you can do with your modern woke shit. I just pretend it doesn't exist. I live in this bubble, and I things do not come through the door that I don't like, and it's, you know, I control the music that's played. I control what's on the TV, like the mysterious voice in The Outer Limits. You know, we control everything going on in your television. This is my reality. The radio station that plays, I broadcast it throughout the house. I don't like modern culture for the most part. I was enjoying the Marvel movies, and they had to fuck that up. I can't really think of anything I like hardly anymore. I like Better Call Saul. I'm watching that. There's only 2 more episodes of that left. Then what will be left? I hear The Northman is a real good movie, but I haven't watched that yet. My mother-in-law told my wife that the ending isn't good or that it's depressing or something, so it kind of made my wife not want to watch it. I'm thinking, come on, let's watch this movie, man.
Of darkness, where evil creatures lurk.
Oh, remember this ad in the comics? This is, you can listen to this record. It's on YouTube. All those records that they advertised in the back of comic books, you could listen to them on YouTube. Yes, indeed. I'm going upstairs to see if that big-eyed cat is on the wall. I believe that it is, but I want to make sure. Okay. Once again, you're watching the Gratu Orlov Show. Okay. This is the wonderful guest bedroom in the Gratu Orlov mansion. It's starting to come together. Yes, there it is. There's the pin. I thought I had it up here. This is how the room is starting to come along. Isn't this wonderful? It's a smorgasbord of 1960s wonderfulness. And got your everything you could ever possibly want. It's still a work in progress, though. But this music that's playing in the other room is probably going to get me a copyright, what do they call it? They give you a little copyright notice so that this video can never be monetized because for a second you heard a song playing in the background. So if I ever was magically to get over 1,000 subscribers, I could never make money, probably because you heard that song for 10 seconds. Oh well. What can you do? Well, there was a big pulp convention over the weekend, and Charlton 66 went to it, and he told me he's doing a special episode this morning where he's going to show what he got at the Pulp Fest. So I'm looking forward to that. That will be far more entertaining than the broadcast you're watching here. Okay, so I found all my Gratu Orlov title cards. I have them all together here in the Tiki Lounge. We're starting to build back better. I'm starting to get organized again. I feel it, man. I feel it in my bones that the show's going to become better soon. Klaus Schwab was visiting just Friday. He came over and was hanging out. My wife wasn't feeling well, so he was going to stay the weekend, but he cut out on Saturday because she wasn't feeling well. But Klaus Schwab is a wonderful individual, yes. Head of the World Economic Forum, founder of the World Economic Forum. Say, Frederick, what do you think about this beautiful little couch Esme gave me for my birthday? Oh, Bunny, the only beautiful thing I'm thinking about is you. Hi, Fang. If you really want to see something beautiful, take a look at this super zowie booby trap I've set for Bunny. I was thinking there was this yellow circle. I thought, well, what happened to the comic? But it's supposed to be there. And then you see in the word balloons, there's a yellow circle inside that. There's a pink circle inside that word balloon and a yellow one inside that. But it almost looks like some kind of acid has eaten into the comic. Some, like maybe there's something on the inside front cover that. But no, it's just one of these ads. So at first it looks like there's some damage to the comic, but there isn't. It's meant to be that way. Bunny. Look at that. You can even get buttons. This is their basic attempt to do Archie, but with a real cool mod style. It's not a total copy of the Archie House style. It's similar, but not 100% clone of Archie. And it's diverse, which is a great thing. I like comics that are diverse, that represent all cultures, all people. I just don't like it when you take an established character that's been around for 60, 70, 80 years and race swap them. You don't need to do that. You don't need to make Batgirl half black, half Hispanic just to... Instead, why don't you have a Batgirl movie where she looks like she has since she was credited in 1966, 67, and have and add some African American characters to the cast, or Hispanic characters, but don't change characters that have that much of, because then it doesn't feel like the comic book. I want to see the comic books come to life, and I don't want to see Sherlock Holmes take place today in 2022. I don't want to see Sherlock Holmes be played by an Eskimo. That's Lana Lang in Smallville. She's supposed to have red hair. The actress that played Lana Lang was great. Add her to the cast. So you have Lana Lang and you have this other character, because there were a lot of people that went to the high school that Clark Kent went to. There in probably not that many small towns. There might have been 30 people in his high school graduating class. Well, make that actress one of them and put her into the plot a lot. But that's one thing that is annoying, is when they change these characters, and then if you complain about it, you look like it's all your fault, it's your problem. There's all these people on Twitter complaining and having tantrums that Batgirl's been canceled. People that have never read a comic book saying it's racist that they canceled Batgirl. And they said they've had test showings of Batgirl. People hate it. So it's just that they made a shitty movie. Oh, here's but that being said, climate change, isn't that horrible? Putin's fault, climate change. Look for me on Fun Day Funnies. Okay, this is cool. It's Casper, I think that's his 19. But I like, somebody will say, well, this writing, that's terrible. It will never be a 9.8 slab now. No, it's wonderful. Stevie, Monday, December 19th, 1959, Houston, townhouses, 1105. So the mother put his name, the day that he got this comic, and in that Houston townhouses, and I guess that's the number of the apartment, the townhouse they live in. So she's made it a complete historical document. To me, that's as cool as a date stamp. I have a bunch of, or more than a few comics from the same collection where some mother did that. And it's, I think it's charming. And I'm not sending this thing off to be slabbed. I'm very anti-slab, and that's another thing that probably people don't like. I just can't, I don't understand it. It makes no fucking sense. It's like something out of George Orwell, taking a book and making it where you can never open it and read it again. Like that's, I wonder what Ray Bradbury would say about that. Anyway, so I'm opening it up because that's what you do to comics. Look how Hot Stuff used to look. He used to have a gigantic head, and Casper had a bigger head too. In the 50s, their heads were bigger. There's Spooky, That's Casper's friend. So there was a cartoon on Sundays called Fun Day Funnies on ABC, and they have all the stations listed where you can watch it. And it was sponsored by Mattel. So you got all these guns that you can get from Mattel. Another thing, that shit happened. I mean, things have been bad ever since the 70s. Really, in a way, that's when guns, they stopped, they started, parents started complaining and they stopped making toy guns. And then they started making toy guns with little orange or red tips, because there were kids that were such dumbasses. They were out in the play in the front yard, and they'd point them at passing police cars and get shot. And but anyway, look at these clouds that are characters. Damn, this is so wonderful. Okay, so these are the comics that were available. They had a Dick Tracy comic, a Dagwood Blondie, but then the characters that continued going they had a Joe Palooka, and then all the other ones that kept going all the way through the 70s. Look, you can have a gun just like in Cheyenne, the TV show. Official autographed Western hats. Rawhide, Cheyenne, Lawman, Sugarfoot. Bat Masterson. Westerns were real big on television then. Damn. Jet Age, styling radio flyer, coaster wagon. Yeah, Another thing I don't like is when they reprint these old comics as these damn fucking. I mean, they're really spectacular looking. Look at this ad. What do they call them? The big omnibuses or omnibi. The problem with them, first, is they're too big and cumbersome. And secondly, they don't reprint the ads. They don't reprint the entire comic. I do like that the Marvel Omnibus books reprint the original letter pages. I think they reprint the bullpen pages. I'm not sure. But all the house ads for the other comics coming out that month were important. Here's another one that was given to Stevie. This one's Wednesday, January 24th, 1962. This is good 3 years later. Damn. So great. Here's Casper 69. Casper 113. I know I don't have a very good collection. I'd like to expand it. So why don't you get on the internet and order them from mycomicshop.com? I would, but I don't have that much money, really. These are not good economic times, and I've got to, I don't have a lot of disposable income. So I just enjoy what I've got. Again, it's really cool when they actually show what the Revolutionary War soldiers look like. Very rarely did they show you what they really look like. So that's at least truth in advertising. Wow, it's just unbelievably cool. These idiots that are buying these Venom comics and first appearance of Carnage, first appearance of, what's the idiot that becomes Carnage? I've got the first appearance of Joe McGillicuddy, who later becomes, he's the prisoner that later becomes Carnage. And it's 9.8, but this isn't 9.8, and this gives me far more enjoyment. Look at this ad. Look at this fucking thing. You'd rather have a fucking Marvel comic from the 1990s than a comic that has that in it? I mean, you've got to be mentally damaged like a fucking idiot to not buy this over that. This is a fantastic cover that, I do need to have made into a poster. This is Casper 126. As I always loved trains as a kid, and this is an outer space train. Fantastic. Casper number 136. And it looks like I have another copy that's not as good a shape, but Casper 145. Casper 159. We're still not up to my childhood copies because I wasn't buying Casper yet because I was born in 65. Casper 160. We're starting to get up into my era, but this is not a childhood copy. I bought this later. This is a childhood copy. 163, it looks like. Yeah, there's a lot of moon covers with Casper because, I don't know, they named one of the lunar modules Casper or something like that, so it became a big deal to have Casper on the moon or with astronauts. They used to have sell these records in the back of these Harvey comics, and there was one about Casper, there were 45 RPM records with kind of groovy songs about their characters. There was one about Hot Stuff, one about Casper, Richie Rich. There might have been two about Casper. I don't know who else they did. But there was one song, "What You Doing on the Moon, Casper?" That's you can hear all of them on YouTube. What the fucking hell? Where are all the other Casper comics? What? What? That can't be. There must be more Casper comics somewhere. That doesn't even make any fucking sense. Because here I jumped to Casper 254 from a really bad time period where they have UPC codes. Yeah, these comics are nowhere as good as what we were looking at. See, we're into the video game era, so it's the 80s. Casper the Friendly Ghost. Okay, this is Casper and Hot Stuff. This is a more modern comic. Again, anything with a UPC code you need to avoid because it means it's produced in a horrible time period, which is the time period of today. Casper number 3. I guess they started the numbering over again. What the fuck is this? Yeah, I apologize showing you these modern Casper comics. It's embarrassing. This looks possibly to be a reprint of an older cover. It's Casper number 4. Casper number 257. New Kids on the Block. Yeah, they had a New Kids on the Block Harvey comic. Casper 7. There's that when Steven Spielberg started an animation studio. An American Tail, these shitty cartoons. Casper 207. Remember this Diggum guy? Casper 209. What the fuck time is it? Oh, we're in 1979. The Star Trek motion picture. Casper and Friends, number 2. Again, the wrong time period. UPC codes on any comic means it's probably shit. I mean, with some... I'm getting more cranky and angry as my shows go on. I'm just letting you know. So unsubscribe if you have to, because I'm no longer going to hide my hatred of this shit. Okay, we're going back to a good time period. When you got the little TV sets on the side, it's a good time period. I'll let you know. If they're not there, then fuck that comic. Casper and Spooky the Tough Little Ghost, number 1. From the 20-cent era, a good time period. Probably the last good time period. Possibly you could buy them up to the 25-cent era. I wouldn't buy them after that. I mean, if you're just hard up for a Casper fix, you could buy a more modern Casper comic. But honestly, the 20-cent era is a good time period. Casper in Space. Now, why Casper doesn't go into the light and through that tunnel and go to heaven, I don't know. Somehow he's stuck on Earth. They say when you go to that light, you go through space and then you wind up in heaven, right? Here's a nice 1973 calendar for you. Let's see if it works for 2022. Today, let's see, I think today's August 9th. Well, no, it isn't. Friday was the 5th, 6th, 7th. It's probably August 8th. In 1973, August 8th was a Wednesday, so this calendar does not work, I'll have you know. Okay, so it's Casper in Space. It's like, but it's an Alex Raymond kind of outer space. You got Hawkmen, and you got like a Ming the Merciless type guy. And you got girls dressed scantily clad like the girls in Alex Raymond's comic strip. So that's, it's Casper basically with Flash Gordon. Damn, that's cool. Yeah, Casper meets Flash Gordon. Casper in Space, number 6. Now, what is this? Casper and Nightmare, the Galloping Ghost. Now, these outer space covers are always wonderful. It's a purple cover. Nightmare was a dead horse that Casper hung out with. Oh, this is not good. Look, a tear. No, it isn't a tear. It's just well, of course it's a tear. What am I talking about? But the piece is not gone. It's still here. Terrible. I didn't do that. This is not my childhood copy. I bought this at a later date. Man, look at Casper there. The big eyes. There was a Mad Magazine ripoff that was done by Marvel called Crazy. August 8th was a Tuesday in 1972, so that calendar's not usable either. Anyway, Marie Severin did the art, and I forget who wrote a parody of Casper in one of the early issues of Crazy. It's probably in the first 10 issues. I think it has a red cover with, Mad has Alfred Newman, Cracked has Sylvester P. Smith. Crazy had a character called the Nebbish, and I think it's a red cover with 2 panels. I think it's Kelly Frias art, and he's flashing, but he's showing you past issues of Crazy. I think it's that issue. There's a Casper parody, and it's Casper spelled with a K instead of a C, and it's Casper the Dead Baby. And he's hanging out with Wendy, and he's telling Wendy his secret origin and how he died and became a ghost. And it's horrifying, but it's drawn to look like the Harvey house style, so it's very twisted. I remember reading it as a 3rd or 4th grader, and just being probably a 4th grader, and being kind of appalled and amused. But Casper sees his mother being just beaten. I mean, I think the father throws her into a wall, and there's a big dent in the sheetrock where her head went, and then, as I recall, the guy stabs her to death and stabs Casper to death, and then he goes out with his new wife, and he's like in a car on a winding road on a mountain, and then Casper comes back as a ghost and causes him to go off the cliff, and he's like a fiery crash and broken glass and all that. It's just a horrifying, but because it's done in this style, that's when you do a parody in the style of the original artist, it becomes funnier, because that's how parody works. When it looks like the original, National Lampoon knew that. Mad, it's funnier. Here are those records that I was telling you about. There's the What You Doing on the Moon, Casper one, Wendy, the Magic Wand. There was one about Sad Sack too. Okay, these are new ones, but these are the original ones from the few years before. This is the 20-cent era. That was a childhood copy. This is a childhood copy from May of '74. Casper supported the Cub Scouts. Someone was telling me the Boy Scouts don't even exist anymore. I didn't know that they just completely, because of lawsuits or whatever, they completely dissolved. Imagine living in a world where there are no more Eagle Scouts and the Boy Scouts don't exist. Is that really the world we exist in? Is it really true the Boy Scouts are just gone? Because that's terrible. This record here is one of the records we just heard in the background. You could get for 95 cents. That's the one from Johnson and Smith. So if you look up Johnson and Smith horror record on YouTube, you can listen to that. Here's another calendar. It's 1974, so it's August 8th was on a Thursday, so it's even farther away from being a good. Yeah, they have Richie Rich. They even have it being a Cub Scout, and even Hot Stuff becomes a Cub Scout. The son of the devil, or whatever he is. This is cool. They have collector's comics. In this one, they reprint Casper number 1 and 2. Now, Eric Breen's comic store in Kentucky just got a copy of Richie Rich number 2. But that I don't think that's something I could afford. Here's a childhood copy, another one of those space covers. Casper's Ghostland and all his friends. There's a number there, but these numbers printed on purple ink, you can't read them anymore when you turn 57. I'll just let you know. Most of you are in your 50s watching this. According to YouTube stats, they give me the numbers of the people that watch. Because it's weird, because I don't remember telling YouTube how old I was when I created a YouTube account, but somehow they know when everyone's born, and they say, I've got a few people that are in their 30s that watch, and 40s, but most people are like in their 50s and early 60s. And let's see, Lead Paint is just commenting there are new Archie comics being published. Yeah, but the store that I went to didn't carry them. And yeah, because I think I said, do they even publish Archie comics anymore? I know they do, because I see them in previews, but very few. And I don't know where you find them. For a while, you could get the Archie Digest in Target and supermarkets, but I don't see those anymore. This is Casper is back. They tried to bring Casper back. This is Casper 225 special collector's issue. This one's trashed, not in very good shape. Dear readers from the Harveys, boys and girls, get ready, set. Here we go with Casper the Friendly Ghost. Have fun, kids. It's probably all reprints. Let's see. Oh, look at this centerfold, man. Even better than a Playboy centerfold. Yeah, it's old reprints. And you can get your favorite Harvey characters on video cassette. Let's see what it says here. Dear readers, this is Harvey Publications, 250 West 57th Street, Suite 514, New York, New York. Dear readers, it is a beautiful sunny spring day in New York City as we write the letter to you. This letter to you. It is a letter we have looked forward to writing for over 3 years because it celebrates the return of Harvey Comics, one of the oldest and best known of the comic companies. During the past few years, while our company was reorganizing, we were unable to publish our comics. This was very disappointing. But your letters, each one so important to us, gave us the support we needed and told us Harvey Comics must return. We at Harvey are today very happy to once again be doing what we do best, publishing comic books. And from your letters, we know that the reappearance of our comics will make you a little happier, and this is the real reason for our happiness. We have begun by publishing Richie Rich, Casper the Friendly Ghost, and Hot Stuff Comics, and Richie Rich and Casper Digest. Next month, look for our new title, Harvey Hits Comics, which will feature stories about a variety of your friends, including Little Dot, Little Lotta, Baby Huey, Wendy, the Good Little Witch, Spooky, the Ghostly Trio, and many others. Let us know which characters that appear in Harvey Hits Comics you enjoy most. The day we've long awaited is here. We look forward to a future of many bright, sunny days together. Sincerely, the Harveys. Yeah, that's the whole point of comics. Happiness on a bright, sunny day or on a rainy day. Comics are meant for kids. I don't give a shit. You can say it's an adult medium too. It can be. But don't take characters that for generations have been made for kids and do perverted, twisted stories for your own masturbatory benefit. Don't take Batman and make him ultra violent. Don't take Superman and change his sexual orientation. So, well, it's not really Superman, it's his son. I don't give a shit. That shit doesn't belong in that comic. Create your own gay superhero in your own little universe. That's fine, but don't do it to these characters that have existed for generations. Leave them alone, and if they are not selling, just stop publishing them. Stop fucking with this stuff. Yes, comics can be an adult medium, but don't take characters that have traditionally been made for kids and just whatever. You do what the fuck you want anyway. Casper the Friendly Ghost and Nightmare the Galloping Ghost number 25. And here's 37 from the Sandra Pedigree collection. I have a lot of comics that come from the Sandra collection. Whoever Sandra was or her children must have sold her comic collection to Duncanville Books, where I obtained these comics that have Sandra's name on the cover. Oh wow. Here's Harvey Hits magazine number 32, Casper and Nightmare, the Galloping Ghost. This is a fantastic cover. Another outer space cover. I love the outer space covers. And here's another one. 23. Beautiful cover. I like how the stars are all different colors. Beautiful. Casper 38. Here's Dagwood number 21 from the 10-cent era. Also from the 10-cent era. Okay, so why was Harvey hits before D? Casper and Nightmare. That's Harvey. Well, because I just put it with other Casper Nightmares. Okay, I see. Okay, well, Devil Kids number 61. This is a childhood copy. Are you kidding me? I only have one copy of Devil Kids? What's wrong with my childhood self? This is something not many people know about. I guess in the 90s, when comics were $1.25, they did The Adventures of Felix the Cat. Here's number 2 of that comic. In the UPC code era. Art and Stories by Otto Mesmer. So these are older stories. I have 2 copies of that. I have 3 copies of that. So therefore, this is a key issue. I say it's a key issue because then I could sell this 2 other copies I have and make money. Here's 5. Here's the 9 Lives of Felix the Cat. I think that there's somewhat a demand for these from what I recall looking them up on mycomicshop.com. They have a little bit of value. Okay, from the pages of Bunny, it's the world's peachiest berry grapist superhero Fruit Man special. And that's Fruit Man. That'll teach him not to grapple with the world's fruitasticest, crime plummeting superhero. Yippee! And if you look at the corner here, co-superstarring Super Hippie and Captain Flower. I find that very amusing. Super Hippie and Captain Flower. Now, you can already tell there's been some skullduggery here. Someone's colored in with a pen. And I recall this has a very amusing, whoever owned this copy, and I need to upgrade because this person was a bit mischievous, the original owner of this. And so yeah, he can turn into fruit apparently. Someone just went by on a 1960s scooter at a very high speed. I'm on the front porch here. The Tiki Lounge here at the Gratz Orloff International Building of Trade is on the front porch. We're sealed in by glass, but I can see what's going on in the world. Fruit Man. Oh my gosh, this comic book is insane. Super Hippie. One of the greatest. I mean, it's like fucking amazing that this even exists. Super Hippie. Oh, look at that. Perfect for a tiki lounge. Look at this. What is this comic strip called? Oh, it's Fruit Man's vacation. So he went to the South Seas, I guess. Oh man, see, this guy's drawing in the eyes all throughout this comic. He's dangerous with a pen. Let me. Damn, this is great. Look at that. I definitely need a new copy of this. If you have an extra copy of Fruit Man and you're not into this kind of humor, I'll trade you or pay you for this. Okay, secret letter from Percival. So they've written in here. Let's see what it says. I don't want to show you too long because this guy has puts. Okay, name Valinda J. Mind, age 68, city Hoboken, state slums. My favorite superheroes are, and I won't even read this one because YouTube does not like you to say that word, Archie and Gumby. Before lighting upon this comic book, I had read 12,964 Fruit Man stories in Bunny. My favorite stories in this comic book were Fruit Man Goes to Hell and Fruit Man Goes Homo. My favorite comic books are Playboy, Playgirl, and Play Craven. But he never sent that off to the Harvey people so they could. I think he also did another Mr. Oh, he added in word balloons too. Yeah, he added in some. You can't. I won't let you see what it says, but he added in this word balloon. It has racist words in it. Whoever owned this comic book was a racist young man. The Super Fruit Quiz. Here's a real chance to show how carefully you're reading your Fruit Man adventure stories. Fill in the blanks with the correct Fruit Man word. This word must be a fruit or related to fruits in some way. So, number 1. Pea pineapple is always pre-barfed for danger. Otherwise, he might find himself in a spitiful situation. So, he just puts all kinds of crap, fuck, asshole. Toilets, rubber, butt, tit, fairy, naked, dick. If you have guessed all the answers to this quiz, your Fruit Man reading was very fucky-ful. Fucky-ful. Palisades Park. Any of you ever go to Palisades Park? Does it still exist? It's a great Freddie Cannon song, and there were always ads for Palisades Park in these comics and also in the national comics, the DC comics. Superman was always... When you go to Palisades Park, I think they had a Superman roller coaster or something like that. Or maybe that's where they had the Superman wax figures where he's fighting a Cyclops and saving Lois Lane. That was somewhere. Alright, well, pardon my language. I was just reading what this little 12-year-old child wrote in his book. Here's the first issue of Hot Stuff. I'm Hot Stuff. Who are you? That reminds me of later Bart Simpson. I'm Bart Simpson. Who the hell are you? Didn't he say something like that? Probably, very likely that Matt Groening was doing a play on that. You know, Beavis and Butthead is back. I didn't know that. I don't know what Paramount Plus, some kind of streaming channel. We watched 2 episodes of a new Beavis and Butthead. That was what, in the 90s? 93? Shit, that's almost 30 years since Mike Judge did. And it's just like it was, except now they don't just watch music videos from MTV. They also watch YouTube and they watched some guy making homemade ink to make prison tattoos, and they just watch weird people from YouTube now too. Hot Stuff 14. He still had the big head at that point. Hot Stuff 17. See, the heads were larger. Hot Stuff 40. This has July 25th little written in pencil. Not really a date stamp, but it's the same basic principle as a date stamp. Hot Stuff 78. We're now into the 12-cent era. Okay. Alright, so he stuck his pitchfork through that fence so that this ghoul could watch the baseball game for free. That's strange. I guess he likes that ghoul. Oh my God. That's out of order. Here's 66. Now here he's depicted with these eyelashes, which I don't remember. Let's see. See here, he does not have the eyelashes. Yeah. I mean, that almost makes him look a little girly. Yeah, that might have just been anomaly. 99. 66, 78, 99. Yeah. Usually he does not have eyelashes. I was correct.
Far into the woods.
Damn it.
Witches, whales.
89. What the fuck?
Witches,
7.
cattle.
What? Okay, we're out of. These are not in order.
A black cat cries.
78. Okay. Here's 83. 83 goes here.
It is Halloween.
Another great cover, like that one I showed you at Bunny. This would look good framed or blown up into poster size next to that. And this is a Hot Stuff 84. A fantastic cover. Yeah, I'll show you what I mean. See, if I had a comic book wall, why is Casper before Bunny in my collection here? Oh, Bunny's here. I'm getting fucking confused.
From out of their hiding places, goblin, death, and blood.
There we go. If I had a comic wall, it would look more like this. It wouldn't necessarily be key issues. It would be just psychedelic coolness and Archie covers like this. Card sheet. 84.
The moon is a circle of gold in the sky.
Okay, these are out of order. Here's Hot Stuff 87. Hot Stuff 89. 87, 89.
Unnatural sound.
108. Another cool one. I like the covers with record players. Wait. Okay. Now I think these are in order now. Oh, I see why. I was thinking, why do I only have one Devil Kids? That's because I was putting all the Hot Stuff books together, so this Devil Kids needs to be put here. I have more. Okay, I guess I have 2 copies of this one with a record player, which makes sense. Because every time I see it, I'm going to buy it not knowing if I already have it. Here's Hot Stuff 118. I believe this is a childhood copy. I could be wrong. This is definitely not a childhood copy. 129. Someone's written their name all over it. Apparently their name is Guy. That was 120. Here's 121. Getting a Daisy BB gun is like getting a good grade. You have to work on it. Work for it. This kid's reading a comic book. What he's looking at is the ad for the Saturday morning lineup in 1972 for, I think, the ABC network. For a while, there was this character called Jackie Jokers. He's forgotten about. Damn, this comic's good.
Now,
Oh, man. Make sure you have all these Harvey comics. They are perfect Christmas gifts, says Santa Claus. Damn, I wonder what time it is. I hate it when the comic opens up to an advertisement, and then another ad, and then the comic starts. But what are you going to do? 121. This was a childhood copy, 122, 25 cents, so we're up to about 1975.
monster.
123. $127. Okay, we're getting up into a period that's not as good, although it's 30 cents. It still doesn't have the dreaded UPC code on it. This is 140. His snowman isn't so hot, he's building a flame man. Okay, now we're into Devil Kids. Okay, so this is the one I showed you before, which is 61. Here's number 30. No, that's Hot Stuff Sizzlers. Shit. Okay, so there's a horrible copy of Devil Kids number 68. So that goes there, that goes there. That goes 140. Okay, Devil Kids. Hot Stuff had a lot of different titles. Wait, there's more Devil Kids here. What is going on, man? Everything's out of order. How embarrassing. Okay. Here's Devil Kids 38. 12-cent Silver Age comic. Someone stamped $1.80 on it, so it must have been sold at a premium at some point. So that's the Devil Kids 38. Here's 37. Here's a very good cover. Damn. I can't read the number because it's a black ink on purple cover. But it's in there somewhere. And then a 25-cent era number 65 of Devil Kids. Okay. So that should be all the Devil Kids. 61. Okay. Shit. Okay. So shit. Devil Kids. Hot Stuff.
Nothing at all. Except lollipops and apples and chocolates and nuts. Jack-o'-lantern.
Okay. Okay. All right. Then there's Hot Stuff Sizzlers. Shit. Number 50. This is a childhood copy, number 56. Here's a bowling alley like a block away from here, but I swear to God, it's only open about 2 or 3 hours a week. It must be only on. I think it's only open on Saturday afternoons. It's like never open. So I've never even been in it yet. This is also a childhood copy, number 58. This is a reprint of an older story. You can tell by the large head. That's 58. Here's 52, out of order. And this one is this one's number 32. That's a great cover. Okay, so doing this show today is allowed. Oh, this is a Devil Kids. Shit. Devil Kids is back over here. Devil Kids. 32. 37.
Because they lived in outer space, the sounds they made were different.
Okay. Alright, so that's Hot Stuff Sizzlers. Now, here's apparently in the 50s they were doing a Felix the Cat comic too. And then they, this is 10 cents. I bought this at Half Price Books for $3. And I've never taken it out yet because they've got it sealed like maniacs. So I can't open it without scissors, so I'm gonna have to get some scissors. There's gonna be a special unveiling today on the Garage World Off television program.
No tricks to play, except on a team. So they decided to discover a real Halloween.
The scissors are around here somewhere because I used them the other day to open a King Kong action figure.
only ghosts.
Where are they?
They saw something big and red which caught their attention, and so they landed on Mars. But there were only Martians there who looked like monsters and sounded like machines. All kinds of machines. Big ones that squeaked and bubbled. And tooted. And hummed. Small ones that blared. Clattered. And whistled. And thumped. The ghosts tried to scare them. They clanged chains. They sneaked around and all the pollution all the time.
I don't know where the scissors are, man. Perhaps we will not open that comic today. Oh! Perhaps it will be another day. But I think I should put it with the other Felix the Cat comic.
Went home to prepare for the people who would come to their star in spaceships from the Earth one day.
We're building back better, getting everything organized in a
Whatever really happened,
logical manner. Okay, Joe Palooka. Over 50 million readers every day. I guess they're talking about the newspaper. This is in really good shape, except for the fact that someone got hungry and took a bite out of it. Seriously, it looks like a human bite, the way the teeth marks are, but you know it was probably by bugs. Okay, here's playful little Audrey. I wish I had more little Audrey comics. I don't know what to tell you. I don't have much, man. Little Audrey. Wonderful. Little Audrey and Dolty. There aren't many, I haven't met many people named Dolty. It's a wonderful name. Little Audrey. I love these monster covers. There's that great ad again. Then it was little Audrey and Melvin. He got co-billing. Kind of like the Black Widow did with Daredevil. First you think, well, some kid has scribbled on it with a crayon, but no, she's gotten sunburned where the sun's coming through the pier boards. Still in the 12-cent era, little Audrey and Melvin. It's just, there's just something so wonderful and magical about these Harvey comics. I don't understand. I only collect Marvel and DC. What a fool you would have to be to take that attitude. I don't get it. Pick the right speedometer for your bike. Again, comic books. These are it's a children's medium, and I just don't think it's appropriate, any more appropriate for them to be politicized and turned into propaganda pamphlets Leave the characters alone. Little Audrey TV Fun Time, number 29. Again, these are a good indicator that it's a great issue, the little television heads. But then the ones that are 12 cents before they had them, those are great too. Avoid UPC codes is a good rule of thumb for all comic book companies. When that started, that's just the beginning of the end. Well, there's a wonderful new thing that's passed. They passed the Built Back Better thing. They changed it and called it the anti-inflation thing. So what they're doing is they're expanding the IRS and making it and arming them and making them into a huge, much huger organization. And they're taxing small businesses, and that's how they're going to stop inflation, by taxing us more. It's a brilliant concept. But remember, you're non-essential. You don't matter. And you were told that. Remember, you're told your business is not essential. It's just, we're going to shut you down. The only businesses that are important are Walmart and Target, right? And the strip clubs. Churches, shut them down. Your little mom and pop business, you aren't important. You're just a useless eater, right? Little dot number 80. Little dot number 95. Oh, and see this cover, someone got mixed up. Do I want to charge 10 cents or 15 cents at the garage sale? But this cover, next to that bunny cover and next to that hot stuff cover, these three would look wonderful. Maybe I should start a comic wall. Kind of running out of wall space. 119. Here's 154. It's kind of a weird concept. This girl that's obsessed with dots. I mean, who thinks of things like this? You know, it's like, there's little dot in Dotland. It's like, I guess it's better than little Lotta, who's obsessed with food. Look at this beautiful Christmas bike ad from Schwinn. Everything's beautiful. The logo with the little stars, the snowflake. The world used to be a much better place. But we got to make America great again. And make America great again means this. This was greatness. When comics were 12 cents. Little Dotland, she is this creature from the Black Lagoon type guy has dots on him, so of course he'd be a wonderful pet for Little Dot. The safari starts here. That's the way it was. Little kids had guns. Boys had BB guns, you know. And sweet tarts were free. See, we got to get Donald Trump back in. We'll have free sweet tarts. Little Dot. Little Dot. Little Dot. Having said that being said, we need to have a conversation moving forward about, this one's in bad shape. It's Little Dotland number 3. That's just, it's so cute and so beautiful. Little Dotland. Oh, it's out of order. There's Richie Rich. Now, see, in reality, he does not look like Macaulay Culkin. And Richie Rich's father looks just like Donald Trump. But they don't want, no one's ever said that because they don't want to humanize Donald Trump. Remember Stumbo the Giant? If you don't, then you're probably an asshole. There's all the stations you can watch Casper the Friendly Ghost on. Yeah, there's Stumbo. For those of you that don't know Stumbo. Little Dot in Squareland. What a nightmare. Little Dot living in Squareland? That's just terrible. Poor girl. There she is. Little Dot is a cowgirl. Okay, Little Dot 3. I gotta get more fucking Little Dot comics, man. What's wrong with me? This is like a real serious sickness that I have so few Little Dot comics. Little Dot 39. Okay, even her fingerprints are made of dots. She's like a space alien. Oh, this is a key issue, and I joke about that a lot. What the fuck? 39, that's 450. 39 is before 50. I know that much. I got this for $4. I guess they didn't notice that it's Little Dot goes to Washington, and she's reading John F. Kennedy. You know, John F. Kennedy was famous for having a rocking chair in the Oval Office. So there's even an Aurora model kit made of John F. Kennedy, and he's in that rocking chair. So this is an important Kennedy artifact, and they sold it for $4. Little Dot goes to Washington. I got it from a really good store, Collected Comics and Games, 3016 Altamira Drive, Fort Worth, Texas. The problem is the comics aren't priced. And the good thing is the owner gives you decent prices on the comics. The bad thing is only the owner can give you the prices on the comics. So you get a big stack of comics together after looking for hours. The 20-something-year-old guy behind the counter cannot price the books for you. He says you have to wait for the owner. I say, well, where's the owner? Well, he's off at a convention. He'll be back in his van on Thursday. So you have to call on Thursday. Has the owner priced the comics yet? And it's like, that was something I discovered right before the pandemic happened. And I remember I finally got the price. I went and got the comics, and that was like the last time I was able to go to a comic store, because then they closed everything, including this wonderful comic store. I'm looking through the comic to see if John F. Kennedy appears within. Yeah, she is definitely going to Washington, D.C. But does she get into the White House with her Dot-loving self? Little Dot and her Aunt Seki. Seki? The fucking name is Aunt Seki. Little Dot and her Uncle Al. She has all kinds of weird relatives. It does not appear that John F. Kennedy appears within. I do not believe so. Little Dot. Little Dot would probably love having measles, or chicken pox. It's like, wow, now I have dots all over my body, and they're going to be permanent scars. How wonderful. Today, someone like Little Dot would probably tattoo their entire body with dots. That's how it's done nowadays. All the modern idiots. Okay, my phone says low battery, so that means I've got to plug you guys in, which means I may have to change the camera angle slightly. Possibly. Hold on. This is the Tiki Lounge. I don't know, I haven't shown you all the new changes to the Tiki Lounge. It's you can visit the Tiki Lounge when you're in scenic Mount Gratu, Georgia. Come on, you cocksucker. All right. Okay, now Little Dots, Uncles, and Aunts. This is number 7. And then this is my childhood copy of number 22. Yes, wonderful. 39. How'd you like a nice Hawaiian punch? Fruit juicy red? Nope. Apple red. Great grape. Sunshine orange. Lemon pink pineapple. New very berry. Sure. Pow. They don't have these wonderful violent commercials anymore. Hey kids, earn a genuine Kennedy $50. Vote for your favorite Hawaiian punch flavor. This has tape repair, ladies and gentlemen. That's terrible. What a terrible thing. Little Dots, Uncles, and Aunts, 39. Here's number 50. This is also a childhood copy. Richie Rich and the Gang. I've been watching a lot. Some guy, he rides his bike around Los Angeles, and he records all what it's like in Los Angeles. He speaks in Spanish, but there's English subtitles. And he tells the stories of all the gangs and everything, and like he's Homer telling the stories of Odysseus and the gods. It's like he tells the history of the gangs, and apparently they let him. He doesn't get. I guess the gang members that he rides by know that he's kind of making them famous, spinning these yarns about him. They don't pull him off the bike and beat him. So apparently he's considered cool. I watched that, and then have you seen Kensington Avenue in Philadelphia? Birthplace of the United States. I'll tell you, man, it's like I've never seen anything like that's the worst I've ever seen. It's hard to believe that's in the United States. What's going on is there's a drug that's out on the streets that's horrifying, and apparently a lot of people are using it, and it's called fentanyl, and it's unbelievable what it does to people. I guess they take it and then they just kind of bend over, and they're so zonked out, and they just freeze in place. So these cars filming these YouTube videos go down the street, and you just see all these people frozen in place. It's like right out of Dante's Inferno, and it's on the streets of the United States. And meanwhile, we're sending money over to other countries, billions of dollars, and not fixing the problems that I show you here. And this fentanyl is apparently all coming from China. So they're fucking up our kids with, that's little Audrey. They're fucking up our kids with this fucking TikTok, these TikTok videos. And they're sending this drug over that's really bad. Apparently that's what that George Floyd was using, and that's what caused them to start having that reaction. And then that policeman held him down, and then that kept him from breathing even more when he was being pressed into the pavement, having I guess an overdose to that fentanyl drug. It's just unbelievable what's going on in our country. The country just spiraling into the toilet. Astonishing. Okay, so that's box 1 of Harvey. Okay, and then the next box of Harvey is a long box, so I've got a lot more Harvey to come. Box 1. That's a lot of fun comics in one box, man. And there's about 3 amazing covers in there. Well, there's about 5 or 6 covers that are definitely worthy of being on a wall. I'd make posters of them, but there's no FedEx around here, so I probably would need to actually build one of those walls where you can just actually put comics up. I've seen videos where people show how to make those walls. I think I remember seeing Silver Age Dave do one. So there's all kinds of cool how-to videos for comic collectors. Let me get that other box in here. Let's put on Alex Jones. Alright. So I'm going to put on Alex Jones because it's already 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I didn't realize it was that late.
Love's illegal for thee, but not for me. You know, we have here in Erie, Pennsylvania, there are certain neighborhoods that are, you know, they love certain people, but not in their neighborhood. So I like to talk about the judge.
All right.
I'm a former retired law enforcement officer. You know, and I
More comic books.
A minute of it. And every time that, you know, the plaintiff objected, I could sit here and I could say I know exactly what the judge is going to rule. Sustained. But every time your attorney objected, overruled. You know, if you didn't realize that was totally biased.
Okay, more Little Dot. It's Little Dot's Uncles and Aunts number 51. Okay, we're moving into Little Lotta. There's Little Audrey, there's Little Dot, and there's Little Lotta. Little Lotta is the girl that fetishizes food. Little Audrey is just, she just gets into mischief. Little Dot worships dots. And Little Lotta, she not only worships food, but she has super strength from, see, she's so strong that even these men that pretend to be women and get into women's sports and beat them, they couldn't beat Little Lotta because of the power of food. She can lift an elephant to protect the elephant from the mouse. And that's because she eats massive quantities of food, see. She even has a comic called Foodland. I think I saw in Virginia, there's a chain of grocery stores called Foodland. I thought, what a great name for a grocery store. See, Little Dot's she's only got 1 marshmallow. This fucking cow has got 500 of them. And that's all the Little Lottas I've got? The fuck is wrong with me? I gotta get more Little Lottas, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. New Kids on the Block number 7. Oh, well, it's got a bikini cover, so I'm sure this is worth $150. Someday this shit will be valuable to the idiot girls that loved this band back, what was it, the 80s? I think my wife may have gone to see them. I don't know. She saw some band like that. New Kids on the Block comic tour, 91, number 5. I bought these years later in dollar bins because I thought, that's funny that there was a New Kids on the Block comic book. Number 7. Chillin'. Oh, I hated that word, chillin'. I need to add that to my list of shitty words. Chillin'. We're just chilling here in Gratuville and Mount Gratu. I'm going to keep writing words that annoy me down. See? I've added chillin'. Chillin'. I'm such a fucking idiot. Number 8. Having said that, it is what it is. Here's Backstage Pass number 7. Who knows if they really look like the real band members? Nobody knows what they look like. It was is that fucking idiot that took the top off of Janet Jackson? Was he in this band? What's his name? I forget his name, man. The guy at the Super Bowl, he pulls Janet Jackson's boob out. Was that guy part of the New Kids on the Block? I don't know. Or was, wait a second, the guy that was the porn star in that 1970s style, what was that called? There was a movie that came out. It was supposed to be kind of somewhat based on the story of John Holmes, and there was some guy that used to be in a Mark Wahlberg. Was he on New Kids on the Block? I don't know. I get all these boy bands mixed up. Okay. Nightmare the Galloping Ghost and Casper the Friendly Ghost, number 2. I think there was another comic that was Casper and Nightmare. And this is a comic, Nightmare and Casper. So I therefore have this filed under N. Oh, they're wet because they went through a billboard. Visit the Falls. Now today, you look at a kid looking at this cover today would think that's a big screen TV. Alright, so we move into Richie Rich, the Poor Little Rich Boy. This is my oldest copy, number 79. Eric Breen's got number 2 at his shop, and I think number 3 as well. A lot of, stop bothering me, get away from me. Fantastic, man. This is just fantastic. And that Macaulay Culkin idiot, I hated Home Alone. It's another thing I hate. Everyone else loves that movie. I don't like that fucking kid that goes, I hate him. I hate even what he's become today, his disgusting self, and hanging out with Michael Jackson, the American Horror Story fucking guy, degenerate. I've always hated him, and I didn't accept him as Richie Rich either. Here's an Outer Space cover, purple cover, so it might say 71. I can't. I mean, seriously, it's really hard. It's not, I don't think it's just me. It's hard to read the black ink on a purple cover. But the purple cover is wonderful. This is another comic that would be wonderful on a wall. A bunch of these space covers from Harvey would look good on a wall.
9 times out of 10, it's us that called them beforehand, and we've blown so many of their operations. So whatever happens to me is worth it. It's an incredible run, but I want to stay in the fight, Curtis.
They need to do what they need to do to keep you in the loop here.
All right. Richie Rich 97.
I'm doing my part. Everyone should do theirs. I don't want to keep you because you got other people better than me that want to say better things.
This is
I love you, brother.
what? 97. Why is 70 after 97?
Now they're trying to put me in prison. It's okay.
Just 70.
No matter what happens.
Oh, 70 is before 79. So this could actually be my oldest Richie Rich. 70, 79. What's this one? Oh, here's 89, another space cover. He's like Elon Musk going into outer space. Okay. 89. Yeah, I need to get this new book that Alex Jones wrote, The Great Reset. And there's some girl made a documentary about Alex Jones called Alex's War. I want to get that as well. 93. Here's 98. And Scum, that's great. Scum is a hilarious word. My friend Tom that passed away, he was always, he loved that word scum. It's a good word, it's very descriptive. 185, now every month. That's his girlfriend. Yeah, man. What you doing on the moon? Casper's selling Twinkies now. Maybe that's what killed him. 185. Okay, these are way out of order. Okay, 124. This is a childhood copy. So yeah, I kept that in nice shape. Richie Rich, 124. Richie Rich, 130. Richie, you don't know where that money's been? Got money in your mouth? That could have been enough. Stripper's G-string? Well, that's probably, maybe that's why he's got it in his mouth. But yeah, man, that money could have been anywhere. 130. 130 from the mid-1970s, ladies and gentlemen.
Leading up onto assault on the lives of the New World Order, it's Alex Jones.
All right, now we move into a horrible new era. They've started the numbering over again. It's Richie Rich number 8. And they've even got a UPC code spot there. That's now the fact that the UPC code is not there means this is Richie Rich Big Bucks. That means this was actually bought in a comic book store. This was a direct distribution copy. Richie Rich Big Bucks number 7. But some comic stores would carry the children's comics because they knew parents would come in and they needed comics for their kids. Richie Rich Billions. Now, I think Richie Rich may have had the most titles